Step 6 of the Opportunity Engine is becoming a connector. And this is one of the most powerful parts of the whole system, because every time you speak to someone, you can ask yourself one simple question: who in my network could I introduce this person to? Not because you expect a payoff, not because it is transactional, not because you are trying to get something immediately in return. You make the connection for the sake of making a connection, because it might help them, because it shows genuine interest, because it builds trust, and because it positions you as someone who creates value beyond your own expertise. Some people are natural connectors. They naturally think, who could I introduce this person to? Who would be interesting for them to meet? Who in my network could add value? But even if that does not come naturally to you, it is something you can train. It is one of the most powerful tools you can use to become better at networking. And it connects directly to the framework from step 5: personal, business, personal. If you add one more question to that framework, it becomes even stronger. Who can I introduce this person to in my network that can add value? That is such a powerful tool to become a trusted advisor, because when you connect people, you show that you are not only thinking about yourself, you are not only thinking about your own work, you are paying attention to what the other person needs. You are listening, you are thinking about their goals, their challenges, and their context, and you are making your network available to them. That shows trust, and trust is the basis of opportunity. Now you might be thinking, how do I know who to introduce them to? You can prompt that thought in your head by asking simple questions. Ask them, how is business? What are you working on at the moment? What is happening on your side? What are you trying to solve this year? What is going well right now? What is challenging? Those questions usually prompt a response. They will mention something they are working on. They might mention something they are struggling with. They might mention a goal. They might mention a win. And when you hear that, you can think, who in my network could be helpful to that person? Maybe it is another client, a former colleague, someone in the press. Maybe it is someone in a different practice area or someone who has solved a similar problem. Maybe it is someone who simply would be interesting for them to know. This is also a question that can be used to prompt cross-selling. But here, we are explicitly not using it only for cross-selling. We are using it to be a connector, because what it shows is genuine interest in helping that person, supporting that person, or being a cheerleader for that person. And when you do that consistently, people remember. They remember that you introduced them to someone useful. They remember that you listened. They remember that you were generous with your network. They remember that speaking with you creates value. And you will not believe how many times that creates an opportunity. Of course, a lot of opportunity depends on luck, timing, and momentum. But becoming a connector is something you can do to amplify those opportunities. It is one of the things that makes your network feel alive. Because the Opportunity Engine is not just about you reaching out to people. It is also about creating movement inside your network. You connect people. They connect with each other. They remember you. They introduce you. They mention your name. They associate you with value, generosity, and relevance. That is how opportunities travel. The important thing is that it must be genuine. If you expect a payoff, the connection does not feel genuine. If you introduce people only when you want something, people feel that. If you make connections without thinking about whether it helps the other person, it becomes noise. So be thoughtful. Ask yourself, would this introduction actually be useful? Is there a clear reason for these two people to speak? Can I explain why I am connecting them? Does this create value for both sides? A good introduction does not need to be long. It just needs to be relevant. You can say something simple like, I thought of you because I spoke with someone who is working on a similar challenge, and I think it could be useful for both of you to connect. Or, you mentioned that you are looking into this topic. I know someone who has worked on something similar, and I would be happy to introduce you. Or, I think the two of you should know each other. There is no agenda, I just think the conversation could be valuable. That is the energy of a connector, not transactional, not forced, useful, generous, specific, and consistent. So the next time you have a conversation with someone, use the framework, personal, business, personal, and then ask yourself, who can I connect that person to? Even if you do nothing else from the Opportunity Engine, be a connector, because becoming a connector builds trust. It keeps your network alive. and it creates opportunities that you could never plan in a spreadsheet.